Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news update show discussing all the news, leaks, transfer stories and more in the last 24 hours. This is the third video today and this is my evening live stream. Videos during the day, live streams at night. We will get in towards the end of the video about Ten Hag's press conference and interview and all of that. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, I also did a rant this morning. We will get into that, but I want to get into the Jong stories. I want to get to the Timber stories. I want to get into the transfer news, and also I want to get into the dressing room leaks because they are dreadful. I mean, the dressing room leaks just shock me, and actually, no, they don't shock me. They don't shock me at all because I expected this. But I just think the leaks, because it's the last day of the season's over. There's going to be lots of players leaving, a lot of saltiness, a lot of bitterness. We've lost again to Palace. The leaks are just coming out like, I mean, honestly, I generally think Man United leaks have come out more than Demi Lovato this year. Every single fucking day there's a leak. There's a leak. It does my head in because it's bitchy, bullying, pathetic things like how come Edison Cavani was allowed an extra holiday but I wasn't? You're professional footballers. You shouldn't be complaining about missing a few games and going on holiday. I'm sorry. Are you annoyed Cavani's missed a few days and gone on holiday and you couldn't do that and you play for Man United? F off. Oh. Should we start with the transfer news or should we start with the leaks? Because, I mean, we'll start with the transfer news because I will be going on for a lot about the leaks. I've got every single leak that's come out today written down, and some of them are just pathetic, aren't they? Honestly, you know what? I'm going to be positive. It's time to be positive because Ten Hag is in, the season is over, and a lot of these players are gone. But Edison Cavani, absolutely pathetic. Some of the things that's been leaked out that he's said. Eric Bailly, pathetic. Wan-Bissaka, pathetic. Allegedly, Marcus Rashford had said some things about Alanga. I don't know. Just pathetic. And you know what? Harry Maguire shouldn't be Man United captain. Harry Maguire is shite. But some of the leaks and the disrespect that these players are showing towards Harry Maguire is pathetic. Because it doesn't matter that he's shite. It doesn't matter that he shouldn't be captain. You've got to respect your captain. But let's get into the transfer news. Let's get into what most of you are more excited for. We'll talk about Ten Hag, we'll talk about the positives, and I do want to get through some of the dressing room stuff. Like someone complained about Ronaldo getting more sponsorship deals. I generally can't believe it as well. Smash a like, as Andrew says, but we've got some Pau Torres stories and we've got some Timber stories coming out. The Pau Torres story is an interesting one. It's on and off, not very reliable people, but United are interested in Pau Torres. Ten Hag wants a ball playing centre back. But the interesting story is what is about JURRIEN Timber. Now, MUFC MPB released another exclusive on Timber to Man United and said talks between United and AJAX are now at an advanced stage. The transfer of JURRIEN Timber and the deal is close. So it came out 2 days ago that a deal for JURRIEN Timber is close and that United and AJAX have been in talks, bish bash bosh, at advance. This came out from MUFC MPB. They're getting exclusive information from other sources. Now, Jonathan Schrager, a journalist, has come out today and said there is a belief that Manchester United are the front runners to sign JURRIEN Timber, and Timber's entourage are currently in England to learn about United's plans. Now, lots of sources of information have come out and basically said that JURRIEN Timber's representatives are in England to try and sort out a deal with Timber to United. Now, this hasn't come out from any tier one, oh my God, David Ornstein Romano kind of source, but it's come out from okay sources, okay information that reportedly Timber's agent, his representatives are in England to learn about United and get a deal done, and lots of okay journalists saying there's talks going on and we know Ten Hag wants them, and Ten Hag spoke about Timber and he's very much hinted an interest in Timber, so there's definitely something going on with JURRIEN Timber to United. We haven't had an Ornstein report, we haven't had a Laurie Whitwell report, we haven't had a Fabrizio Romano report, but we've had some decent journalists talk about talks and that United want to complete the deal. There was a report that came out, and I can't remember who it came out for, but it was saying something like, expect Man United to get transfer deals done in the next week or something. I think it came from Tom McDermott, and I think he said Erik ten Hag's first Man United signing could be concluded by the end of next week. So something could be done in the next week. We know that Ralph Rangnick's urged John Mert to act quickly. Erik ten Hag wants his transfer business done before July 1st. There's a lot for Manchester United to do, and Timber most definitely could be that first signing as well. Just having a quick sip of water as well. Man City won the Premier League yesterday. I mean, guys, did we all enjoy Liverpool meltdown? I want to talk about something. Someone spread, I don't know if you've seen the video, but someone spread a fake rumour at Anfield that Villa had made it 3-3, and just after Salah's goal, Anfield starts going for like a minute because someone made a joke that it went 3-3, and it absolutely has me cracking up, absolutely laughing up at it. I tell you that now, that someone spread this fake rumour at Anfield that Villa had equalised, and all the cheers, and then Salah thought he scored that winning goal. And you know what? We've had a shit season, but we can laugh at Liverpool because they didn't equal our title. They're not getting the quadruple, and their fans, some of them are so annoying. Now, Liverpool are a fantastic team. They're miles ahead of United, but I always think it's funny how we lost to Crystal Palace and they beat Wolves, but we're the ones celebrating and they're the ones miserable. And the funny thing is they got the Liverpool Champions 2022 on the back of the shirts. They brought even the Premier League stuff to Liverpool. It's absolute banter. I don't know if you've seen the clip of where someone starts a fake rumour, but absolutely had me cracking up. Hamburg Hertha, 2-0 to Hertha. That's the Bundesliga thing, isn't it? And Abraham Glazer said he would back Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, Abraham Glazer, this silly. Oh, I cannot call Abraham Glazer certain words on live stream if I want to call him. But Abraham Glazer has did an interview with Sky, and guys, it cracks me up. This Abraham, I can't talk today. I'm really tired. I cannot freaking talk today. But Abraham Glazer, he was sort of interviewed by Sky about United. He goes, "Have they had a bad season?" And he's like, it's not been good season. Ten Hag here, we'll give him some money." He's clueless. Abraham Glazer is bloody clueless, guys. In that interview, he probably didn't even know. I bet you Abraham Glazer didn't even know the season had finished. I bet Abraham Glazer doesn't even know where we finished. He probably just asked, "Are we in the Champions League or not? Will I get my Champions League money or not?" They say, "We're not in the Champions League. You're not getting the Champions League money." That's probably all Abraham Glazer knows. Because this guy, I swear you, he is clueless. Honestly, it cracks me up, to be fair, that interview and stuff. Also, De Jong to United. De Jong apparently doing, I think it's Gerard Romano taking the piss at this rate, but De Jong was like giving away shoes and stuff to Barcelona fans. Was it a farewell? De Jong did remove Barcelona player from his bio. The only weird thing that's happened is De Jong all of a sudden has removed Barcelona player from his bio, which could suggest that Frenkie de Jong is leaving Barcelona. It came out from Sport that Manchester United are the team with the strongest bid for Frenkie de Jong, and Barcelona would be willing to sell him for 80 million euros, which is about 68 million pounds. If a dizzying offer arrives, it will be presented to De Jong. You know, basically Barcelona need to sell De Jong. I think we all know that. Whether he'll come to United or not, I don't know. We're not in the Champions League. We are in the Europa League. It did say if we're in the Conference League, forget De Jong, but there's still a pull being in the Europa League. I mean, Barcelona in the Europa League last season. PSG, this has also come out from Spain that PSG have sounded out Frenkie de Jong's entourage, and Man United, Bayern Munich and City have already met with de Jong. Barcelona expect movement this week. So look, it's a race between United, City, Bayern and PSG for de Jong. I have a scary feeling he's just going to end up at City and replace fucking Gundogan because, look, he's a Pep Guardiola kind of player. They've got Haaland. The thing about PSG is that Mbappe contract for PSG is so lucrative that how the hell are PSG going to be able to give de Jong what he wants and pay 68 million for de Jong when they've given Mbappe that much to say they've balanced the books and FFP? Bayern Munich, Bundesliga shit league. It is. I'm sorry. It's a farmers league. It's between United and City, and it's literally, does he want Champions League football and an easy lift to the Premier League title, or would he be interested in working with Ten Hag again? And, you know, can Ten Hag convince him to come to United over City? That is what it is with Frenkie de Jong, and that is what I'm worried about. But Barcelona value him at 80 million euros minimum, which is 68 million pounds, which is madness as well. PSG after de Jong, honestly, I mean, if I'm de Jong, I would say to PSG, "I'll come if you give me the same contract as Mbappe." You know what? That Mbappe contract is outrageous. And look, you can't blame Mbappe for accepting the contract. People saying Mbappe ruining his career, he's never going to be out the Farmers League and all that. I get that. But by 2025, Mbappe's 26. He's still got a good 5 years of his career left to go elsewhere. And if you get a contract that big, can you turn it down? Like that is the biggest contract in football. Where this contract is outrageous is PSG, because PSG have fucked themselves, because the next Mbappe that comes along that PSG want to sign, they're going to have to give the next Mbappe that kind of contract. You know, the power that PSG have given Mbappe, when PSG want to sign a big player now, they're going to demand more. You know, we've seen it with United. We've given shit players so much money, that, you know, our wage structure is higher than anyone else in the Premier League, but we're sixth and Man City are first and we pay more wages than them. I mean, it's just stupidity from PSG, if you want my honest opinion. Absolute stupidity as well. PSG is basically Qatari sports washing scheme. They pretty much have endless funds. I know it's an absolute joke. It's unfair. Like City, PSG, a lot of it, I don't think it's even fair. The amount of money they spend. And Jong strikes me more the type to go to a proper club like Bayern or City over a PSG. Yeah, I can't see Jong wanting to go to a PSG either. Honestly, but I think Champions League is going to be an issue with us getting Jong. I think Timber is likely, but I think De Jong is a 50-50. When do you think Timber will be announced to Man United in the transfer window? Do you think Ten Hag will get backed? I don't know when Timber will be announced. It depends when we sign him. It depends if we sign him. Again, Bayern Munich could get him, but United reportedly, you know, Ten Hag's representatives, according to John Verstrager, are in England trying to get a deal complete. So we'll have to wait and see. But obviously that report from Tom McDermott came out and basically said that United want to get all their transfer business done by next week. Not by next, sorry. Manchester United could get a transfer deal done by next week. Ten Hag's first signing could be done next week, and United want to get all their business done by pre-season tour, end of June, latest early July, and all of that. And Barcelona weren't really in the Champions League this season, I know. And Kamara to Villa on a free. I mean, that is an absolute mad transfer. I want Kamara. I think he's going to be sick at Villa. Yeah, I think United are going to regret that one. I really do think United are going to regret that one, but we'll have to wait and see as well. Let Donny's girls speak with Frankie. They can shop together. That's a good one. Honestly, Donny van de Beek coming back will be a new signing. It will be like a new signing. Donny van de Beek scored yesterday as well. I know Everton was shite, but Donny got a goal. Hey, Donny got a goal. Talking of United midfielders, Pogba's gone. Matic is gone. We've got Fred and Bruno, who have been shit this season. To be fair, Fred's been one of our best players under Rangnick. It's Fred, Bruno, Donny, and Garner as it stands. Oh, that is a shit midfield. And this is why we need a Frankie de Jong and a CDM. Now, I want Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni's going Liverpool or Madrid. That is it. I want Tchouaméni. I'd do anything for Tchouaméni. I'd give Tchouaméni my bloody arms and my legs, but he's not going to come. So, yeah, that's the situation. United going to sell Wan-Bissaka. Cavani's gone. Cavani's been causing issues. Pogba's gone. Lingard's gone. He's about to join West Ham. Lingard, shock. Who else is gone? Matic is gone. Mata's gone. Wan-Bissaka's for sale. Tellez is actually for sale. Bailly is for sale. Phil Jones is for sale. Martial is for sale. And I feel like someone else is for sale. Oh, Andres Pereira is for sale as well. Tuanzebe is for sale. I mean, Dean Henderson is for sale. That's 13 players for sale. McTominay, Maguire, Rashford, yes, they've been shite, but they're not for sale because unfortunately you can't sell the whole squad in one window. 13 players are for sale. We're only going to get 5 or 6 to replace them max. So we can then sell another 6 or 7 players next window as well. I want to get into some news stories and stuff. There's a report about United going in for Yuri Tielemans. Again, I think Tielemans won't come to United unless we miss out on De Jong and all our transfer targets as well. But into the news, into the dressing room leads, guys, and this is going to shock you because this is outrageous, okay? Absolutely outrageous. This is a disgrace. Okay, so Samuel Luckhurst came out saying a meeting attended by senior players and Rangnick was held without Harry Maguire, our captain, without Maguire, he said, in February and caused repercussions. Dressing room sources described the senior players' behaviour in the meeting as a hijacking. Apparently, senior players at Manchester United, not Maguire, so senior players at United almost kind of hijacked a meeting and they took control of the meetings and, you know, about Rangnick and the way we're playing and all of that, which is, you know, one way you look at it and go, is it the senior players doing their leadership because Maguire's not doing any leadership? 2, is it just disrespectful and disgraceful from the players that they believe that they can hijack a meeting and have their say? Because, you know, the problem is these Man United players have way too much power. At the end of the day, I know stuff was going shit with Rangnick, but just do what Rangnick tells you to do. Stop trying to think that you can do better. And the fact that, you know, senior players have hijacked a meeting, you know, taken control of the meeting, and it just shows that there's big issues in this club. Mark Ogden came out with a story that this is going to make you laugh, guys. This story is going to make you laugh. He said an agent of a senior player complained to the club that Ronaldo had been given more prominence than their client in promotional campaigns. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, if that doesn't say everything you need to know about the Man United squad, then what does? And Man United players complained to their agent that Ronaldo's had more promotional campaigns than them and more time in the promotional campaigns. What? Okay, first of all, Ronaldo's going to be in more promotional campaigns because he's Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I don't know who this player is, but if this player is someone that's shit, I mean, they're all shit, but Ronaldo, I mean, it just says, oh, Ronaldo, they're complaining about Ronaldo's social media and promotional campaigns. Like, is Cristiano bloody Ronaldo? And he's one of the only players performing, so of course he's going to be the face of everything. And, you know, the fact that there's a player complaining about it, so their agent, confirms everything we know about these players. I said it in my rant that came out this morning. These Manchester United players generally care more about how much money and how many followers and how liked they are on social media than how well they play on the pitch. Too many players at Manchester United, and a leak about it came out yesterday, are way too focused on how their social media is doing, how their sponsorship deals are doing, how their look is, how their PR is, than how they're doing on the pitch. I tell you this, I think they've spent more time working with their PR teams than they have working on drills and training, because they don't listen to Rangnick, they don't listen to instructions. All they seem to do is leaks, and whenever I have a bad game, Rashford's PR team comes out, Maguire's PR team comes out, makes up some bullshit story about them being brilliant in training. And you know what? We've got a source, a leaked report coming out saying players are complaining about Ronaldo getting too many promotional campaigns. That doesn't matter. Why are you complaining about Ronaldo getting more attention on social media, about Ronaldo making more from promotions? He's Cristiano Ronaldo. For God's sake, he's the biggest player in football. If it should be the least of your worries. If you're a Man United player and you've spent more time getting annoyed and worried about what Ronaldo's doing and how Ronaldo's getting more social media time and how Ronaldo's got more followers than you and how Ronaldo makes more money than you, you're a joke. Because with the performances this season, the last thing you should be worrying about is promotional campaigns. The first thing you should be worrying about is how shit you've been on the pitch. The second thing you should be worrying about is a new manager's coming in with higher standards. So if you don't get shit together, draw out the club. It's a ruthless rebuild. You shouldn't be worried about what Ronaldo's doing. You shouldn't be worrying about what this player is doing. What really annoys me about the leaks is that it doesn't seem that any Man United players are taking any blame for themselves. It's like none of the Man United players think they're the problem. Every player at Man United goes, I'm not the problem, Maguire is. I'm not the problem, Bruno is. You know what? At the end of the day, Bruno, Maguire, McTominay have been shite this season. Absolutely shite. But they do something that some of our players don't do, and that is try. They're always available. There's a lot of Man United players with mysterious injuries not making themselves available. I said it before and I'll say it again. If it was a UCL final and not Crystal Palace, most of the injured players would probably be on the bench, because you could say what you want about McTominay, Maguire and Bruno. They have been crap, but at least they play, at least they're not faking injuries, and at least they give it their all. There's some Man United players when they put on the shirt that are not only crap, they don't even try, they don't even care. You know, if you're one of those Man United players that doesn't even try, doesn't even care, and then you're going, yeah, the reason we're doing bad is because of Bruno. Yeah, Bruno was shite. Bruno gave them assist. Yeah, Bruno's crap. Bruno's cost us some points. But it annoys me that reports individually blaming Bruno and Maguire, who, yes, they've been crap, but it's probably players that have been crap as well, blaming Bruno and Maguire that haven't tried. At least Bruno and Maguire have tried, you know. It baffles me how we're blaming everyone. It seems to be everybody's fault, but the Man United players, they cannot take any blame. Ronaldo has the most Instagram followers in the world, which is probably why players are absolutely jealous of Ronaldo. Andrew said the egos on these players are going to be the best ever to kick a ball and one of the most famous people in the world, and they have the nerve to question why he's such a prominent figure. Absolutely spot on. It's an absolute disgrace. A disgrace. And as I said earlier, the one thing that really winds me up about these Man United players is they constantly don't blame themselves. It's not their fault. Every time we lose a game, there's a player that takes the blame. If it's not Rangnick, it's on Rashford, it's on Maguire, it's on McTominay, it's on Bruno, who, yes, are at fault. There has been games where Bruno, and there was that one game versus Arsenal where everyone was quite good and Bruno and Tellers cost us. Yes, there is blame to put on other players. Of course there is. But it annoys me that some Man United players and most Man United players don't think they're the problem. I guarantee you, most of these Man United players, whether it's someone like Maguire that does have a good attitude or someone like Wan-Bissaka or Cavani doesn't have a good attitude, I guarantee you Cavani will go, well, it's not my fault we had a shit season. I barely played. Yeah, exactly. So it is your fault, Cavani, we had a shit season, because we had to rely on a 37-year-old Ronaldo to play week in, week out with no rest because you couldn't make yourself fit because you were pulling fast ones on an injury. Yes, Edison Cavani, you were also given holiday after holiday after holiday, took the mick. It is your fault. Wan-Bissaka, yes, I know we've had a crap season. You haven't played that much, but you've been so bad that Dalot starts week in, week out, and he's crap, but he's better than you. He's less crap than you. So yes, Wan-Bissaka, it's your fault. Harry Maguire, you're captain of this club. You try, you make yourself available. You've got a good mentality, but you've cost us the Champions League. You've cost us a lot of points. Every single player at Manchester United, apart from David De Gea and Cristiano Ronaldo, can say. They have to say they're part of the reason we had a shit season. But most of them don't think it's their fault. Most of them will think, oh, it's Ronaldo's fault for disrupting the dressing room. Oh, it's Maguire's fault. He's not a good enough captain. Oh, it's Teller's fault. He's a crap defender. And yes, there's been times where individual players have cost us games. But the season has been costed by the whole squad, the no togetherness. They can't play as a team, the constant complaints, the constant leaks. You know what? Lingard's been a disgrace this season. Bailly's been a disgrace this season. Cavani has been a disgrace this season. Marcus Rashford, I love Rashford, but he's been a freaking disgrace this season. Not running, not listening to Rangnick's instructions, not chasing the ball. Marcus Rashford's PR team has done more work than him this season. I tell you that. Those players have been disgraceful. Bruno's been crap. McTominay's been crap. Maguire's been crap. Okay? Fred actually has been quite good under Rangnick, but was crap at the beginning of the season. They've been awful, but they haven't been disgraceful. Some of these players have been absolutely disgraceful because of the problems they're causing off the pitch, the lack of effort on the pitch, and it absolutely does my head. And I tell you, this report has come out from Mark Ogden. Edison Cavani couldn't believe it got dark outside at 3 p.m. in the winter. Edison Cavani, turns out, was the player complaining that Rangnick made them train after dark. No lie whatsoever. The leak, do you remember that leak that came out? Rangnick had got the job for 3 weeks. Rangnick got the job for 3 weeks. It only took the Man United players 3 weeks before they started throwing Ralph Rangnick under the bus. But 3 weeks into Ralph Rangnick's job, there was that report going, Ralph Rangnick's making us train in the dark. Ralph Rangnick's making us drive home in the dark. It's a disgrace. Well, it seems that it was Edison bloody Cavani. Edison bloody Cavani, who was never at training, always injured, always on international duty, got gifted extra holidays, was complaining that it got dark outside. Edison Cavani, the last thing you should be complaining about is the British weather. You literally stayed for the money. Edison Cavani, all he's done is been injured. Ollie gave him holidays to shut him up and keep him quiet, and I will get into that report that Ollie's given Cavani holidays to shut him up and keep him quiet. Edison Cavani got an extra holiday as a bonus for signing. We said to Cavani, if you stay here another year and accept this ridiculous contract, you will get a holiday. So Cavani went, well, just a year more in Manchester. I'll make myself injured. I'll never play. I'll have a holiday. I won't get injured, and I'll just collect a wage. So Cavani sat there collecting a wage for doing F-off, doing leaks, complaining about the dressing room. Honestly, I mean, I just can't get over how Cavani is complaining about it getting dark 3 weeks into Rangnick's interim role, and he's been thrown under the bus by Cavani. Cavani turned to Rangnick 3 weeks in. Why? Because he has to train in the dark. Has to train in the bloody dark, and all of a sudden he's injured. And we have to rely on Ronaldo to play week in, week out. I tell you that. It's an absolute disgrace. 3 weeks it took these players to turn on Ralph Rangnick. 3 weeks. And this is why, I'm worried about Erik ten Hag, because I do not trust these players. Thank God Cavani's going. Thank God Lingard's going. Thank God we're going to sell a lot of the troublemakers. But I do not trust these players one bit. They're an absolute disgrace to this club. The leaks that have come out today, training in the dark, Cavani's fake injuries, Cavani's holidays, absolutely taking the mick. Cavani was sticking up his finger to the fans yesterday. Imagine the scenes if that was Paul bloody Pogba. Imagine the scenes. And the worst part of all is Cavani was complaining apparently about having to give the number 7 shirt to Ronaldo. And Cavani, do you remember about 3 weeks ago, Cavani's agent said if he knew Ronaldo was coming, he wouldn't have stayed. Thanks, Cavani. We've had a shit season. You haven't played for the whole second half of the season. Then you come out and say, with the audacity to say, yeah, well, I wouldn't have actually stayed at United if I knew Ronaldo was here. Cavani said before the season was over, yeah, he wished he didn't stay, complaining about giving Ronaldo number 7 shirt, leaking 3 weeks into Rangnick's spell, complaining that Rangnick's making him train in the dark. Cavani, I feel like the attitude on him was a disgrace. He feels like we owe him shit. The problem is with Man United is we begged and begged and begged for Cavani to stay because we weren't planning on signing Ronaldo. We only signed Ronaldo because we didn't want him to go to City. So we begged and begged and begged for Cavani to stay. Ollie begging for Cavani to stay. Ollie said to Cavani, we'll give you this fat, ridiculous wage if you stay, but also you can have an extra 2 weeks in Uruguay if you stay. So we literally told Cavani he can have an extra holiday and a fat wage that he doesn't deserve if he stays for another year at the club. So of course Cavani accepts it. And you wonder why, as soon as things start getting bad at Man United, Cavani's always injured. He wasn't too injured at the start of the season because it was going all right. As soon as things went tits up, as soon as Rangnick came in, Cavani was always injured. Do you think he was really injured? Because you know what, he wasn't injured when he needed to play for Uruguay. He was only injured when he needed to play for Manchester bloody United. Of course, Cavani wasn't injured. Do you think if Man United were where Liverpool were, if we were going to win the quadruple, or we were where Liverpool were, do you think Cavani would have been injured for half that time? Of course not. He just don't want to be here. He didn't want to stay in the first place. He only stayed for the money. He wanted to be in Uruguay. He's complaining about the weather. He's complaining about Ronaldo coming in. He literally said if he knew Ronaldo was coming, he wouldn't stay. He was complaining about giving his shirt to Ronaldo. Cavani was annoyed that he wasn't the main man anymore. He had a big old strop, so he thought he's just going to be an issue in the dressing room. And you know what? Us fans, we all love Cavani. Oh, yeah, suck up Cavani because he did a bow and arrow once. You know, why is Paul Pogba the one getting booed when he's the one sticking his finger up at the fans and saying outright publicly he wished he didn't stay? 3 weeks ago, Cavani basically said if he knew Ronaldo was going to come, he wouldn't have stayed. Pogba's never said publicly he wished he didn't stay. Pogba's never stuck his fingers up at the fans, but Pogba gets booed. Oh, no, we all love Edison Cavani. I mean, the double standards absolutely infuriate me. And I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here, and I am going to get into the live chat in just a second, but Cavani's really wound me up this season. You know what? I like Lingard, but his attitude's been appalling. Martial making a big fuss demand to leave when the Greenwood and Cavani, and that pissed me off. Cavani's pissed me off this season. I mean, the form of Maguire, Bruno, and McTominay and Rashford have pissed me off. Rashford's pissed me off this season. Bailly's pissed me off. Wan-Bissaka's, they've all pissed me off. You know, and the thing is, it's been a shocking season when I sit here and defend Bruno, McTominay and Maguire, because I like Bruno Fernandes. I think he is a good player. But Bruno, McTominay and Maguire have all had a shocking season. But I'm defending them because I'm going, well, at least Bruno, McTominay and Maguire try. At least Bruno, McTominay and Maguire do not fake injuries. At least Bruno, McTominay and Maguire do not ignore Rangnick. At least Bruno, McTominay and Maguire do not leak reports. I'm defending the basic principles of being a decent footballer. Trying, playing, doing what your manager tells you to do and not leaking backstabbing reports. So I'm literally going, well, at least Bruno, McTominay and Maguire did that, even though they've been crap. They've been awful, you know. But because some of the other players at Manchester United have been so much of a disgrace and done things that professional footballers should not be doing, absolutely outrageous things off the pitch, that Bruno, Maguire and McTominay, who have been shite, are almost the least of my worries right now. Because even though they've been shite, at least they're not at least they've not been an utter disgrace. They've been a disgrace on the pitch, but at least they've not been a disgrace on the pitch and off the pitch, because some of these players have been a disgrace off the pitch as well. There's more leak reports, there's more stuff coming out. It just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming as well. Someone said, is Timber confirmed? Well, according to Jonathan Schrager, Timber's representatives are in England to try and complete a deal with Timber joining Man United and ask about the deal. There's reports saying that Timber's representatives are in England to try and complete a deal. So Timber's not done, it's not confirmed, but obviously the talks with Timber are confirmed, the interest with Timber's confirmed, and Timber's representatives are in England, so something could be confirmed. But we'll have to wait and see as well. Alice, haven't you heard about Rashford leaks? Shocking. Look, I don't know who's responsible for the leaks, but I tell you what, Cavani is. It is 100. After what's come out today, we know Cavani is been causing some issues. I got told from someone that Wan-Bissaka had been causing some issues, but again, that person that told me, I do trust them, but they could have just made that up, or the person that told them could have just made that up. Like, it's not from a reliable source, so take that one with a pinch of salt. It's obvious Eric Bailly is causing issues because Phil Jones is playing over him. There has been some reports about Eric Bailly we'll get into, and Eric Bailly put some shit on social media. Jesse Lingard basically called Rangnick a liar on social media. Jesse Lingard obviously was bitching to Paul Scholes about players. It's obviously Jesse Lingard's done some stuff. Dean Henderson maybe, because he was completely dropped from the squad. Rangnick doesn't like him. And then Rashford maybe. But a lot of players have been causing issues. No Paul Pogba in that. You know, people booing and having a go at Paul Pogba. He's not the one leaking shit. Paul Pogba, Varane, Ronaldo and Bruno are the only players that have been showing some professionalism off the pitch, and Fred, weirdly. But this is the report that's come out from Mark Ogden that said senior figures at United attempted to persuade Rashford to sideline his off-the-field commitments to focus on regaining form and fitness, but the player has instead chosen to continue both. I don't mind what Rashford's doing off the pitch, but I think Rashford has become a social media player. Rashford seems to care way too much about what people think of him and how he looks on social media and how his PR looks and how he looks on the pitch. Rashford, mate, you need to sort out what you're doing on the pitch. I like what you do off the pitch, but you've been shite. You've been a disgrace this season because you've not even run, you've not even tracked back, you've not like there's games where you haven't even tried. You're getting mad at Rangnick, you're not listening to instructions. Got a fucking thing in my eye. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind Rashford doing things off the pitch, and I think it's good, because Greenwood's done things off the pitch that are bad, and then you've got someone like Rashford who's also come through the academy and done things off the pitch that are good, which shows, just because you're an academy player and you get a lot of money, there's not an excuse for doing bad things. Rashford's done good things. But I just think as well, Rashford's a social media player. Rashford's a confidence player, and as soon as people start giving Rashford some stick on social media, he goes shite. Because Rashford, I guarantee you, Rashford is one of the players that's on social media more than anyone else, reading through what people say. Rashford broke after the Euros, and the abuse that Rashford got after the Euros was not acceptable. But Saka bounced back from it, and Rashford kind of swallowed up, felt sorry for himself, and he hasn't bounced back since the Euros. And yes, the abuse he got was horrible, but you need to stop reading what everyone's saying about you on social media, because Rashford is one of the most abused athletes. And it's a shame because he is such a nice person. Yes, he's been shite, but even before he was shite, he got a lot of abuse. Rashford is one of the most abused athletes out there. And, he needs to take some time on social media and stop thinking about what people are saying about him. Stop reading what people are saying, because it knocks his confidence. If I was Rashford, I would just go off social media until Christmas. I generally would, because you've got your career at Manchester United. You're going to stay no matter what they say, because we can't sell the whole squad. You've got Ten Hag. If I was Rashford, I would come off social media for 6 months, not read or listen to a thing anyone says about me, and focus on himself. Because I think he is a player that is social media focused. I tell you that now. I like Rashford, but you can just tell. I mean, people saying Rashford are the leaker as well. I can't believe we didn't give different players fake starting lineups to see where the leaks came from. That would have been an interesting one. I think the thing that makes me think Rashford could be the leaker, now I don't know if Rashford's the leaker, but a lot of people seem to come to the conclusion Rashford's the leaker with some of the reports that have come out today, is Wan-Bissaka barely got a go under Rangnick. Bailly wouldn't even play. Phil Jones would play over Bailly. Lingard would barely play, and Rashford would barely play under Rangnick, and Dean Henderson would barely play, and Cavani was always injured. So it makes me think that out of that logic, they could be the 6 players causing issues and leaks, because Rangnick was hesitant to play them. Now, talking of Ralph Rangnick, several players had become angered by Ralph Rangnick's outspoken comments in news conferences, and tensions within the squad began to grow, with splits by Rangnick's remarks about a variety of players. So it's come out from Mark Ogden that obviously Rangnick's press conferences that we all loved as fans have obviously caused issues in the dressing room. Surprise, surprise. These Man United players are soft. They're soft. They're idiots. They're really soft. They whine, cry over this. If Man United players are calling up Rio Ferdinand saying, don't criticise me after the season we've had, it says it all. The thing that infuriates me is these Man United players are ringing up pundits and people in the media saying, can you not criticise me? We've come 6th. This squad, look at all the money you're on, look at our team, look at the expectations at the beginning of the season, look how we've ended coming 6th. How can you say you can't be criticised when you didn't do your job? Outrageous, absolutely outrageous for some of these United players think that they don't deserve to be criticised. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And Rangnick had every single right to criticise these players. But of course, if these players are complaining that Gary Neville's given them stick, if Rangnick, their manager's given them stick, they're probably crying and refusing to play even more. And you know what? Apparently, Ralph Rangnick talking out has caused tensions. Of course it has. I reckon Rangnick's pissed off all them players, because Rangnick said it how it is. Ollie would protect these players. Ollie gave Cavani a holiday. Ollie gave Lingard a holiday. Ollie would basically lie for these players. Ollie was too nice to these players, protected these players' images too much, that these players got too big for their boots. Rangnick came and he's like, I'm not a little bitch. I'm not Ollie. I'm not here to protect you. If you're being a dickhead, I'm going to expose you. That's what Rangnick did. If you're shit, if you're causing problems, I'm going to expose you. I'm not going to protect you like Ollie did, because that's not acceptable. Rangnick exposes the player. There's an outcry, and apparently there was a split in the dressing room where they went into camps, team Rangnick, team non-Rangnick, and maybe you wonder why Alanga plays week in, week out, because maybe he's one of the few players that will listen and respect Rangnick. Mata, Mataralanga. Look at the team we played last game of the season. Hannibal, Mataralanga. You've got Sholatieri, Garnacho, Charlie McNeil, all on the bench. Alvaro Fernandez all on the bench. Where's Rashford on the bench? Where's Dean Henderson on the bench? Where's Lingard on the bench? Where's Matic on the bench? You know, maybe the fact that we were fielding such shit lineups towards the end of the season is maybe which are Team Rangnick and which are Team Turning and Rangnick. Maybe that's what it is as well. And you remember there was that big fight last week at Old Trafford. They had to end training early because it was a fight between two players. That was between Mejbri and Alex Telles. So even players that aren't really outspoken troublemakers in the squad are having an altercation in training. And look, I don't care about a fight between Alex Telles and Hannibal Mejbri. That's going to happen in training. It is what it is. But what I do care about, and this story's come out from Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail, and this is a really interesting story, is that basically, sorry, one sec, let me get into this comment. But I got a story from Chris Wheeler. I'm going to get into the Chris Wheeler story, but Mr. Randomizer said, so Rangnick speaks the truth about all these pathetic gits, and then they cry, then they need a boot up the arse, and Ollie was as bad as the players. Woodward and Judge and Glazers need a slapping. Yeah, we protected them too much. You're absolutely spot on. And according to United's fault, all the fault is the board. I mean, the fault was the board for keeping with these players and giving them way too big contracts. You know, the board appointed Rangnick and all of that. It was necessary for Rangnick to expose. And Ralph went easy on them in the beginning, but then when it cleared down the tools, Rangnick went on them as he should. Yeah, Rangnick, I think, got fed up and he just went on the players as he should have as well. Rangnick getting blamed for Ollie's mess. You know, yeah, I'm going to stick up for Rangnick. Yes, he was a shit interim manager, but he's here to do long-term work. And there were leaks coming out before Rangnick came in. We were playing shit before Rangnick came in. Rangnick had Ollie's mess to clear up, and Ollie left a big fucking mess because Ollie basically rewarded mediocrity. The Glazers rewarded mediocrity with big new contracts. So, of course, it's a mess. The next report is the big one. Okay, this is the big one. Okay. So this has come out from Chris Wheeler. Ronaldo, Varane, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes called a meeting with Rangnick to request a change of tactics. That is the report coming out. And there's a part of me where I'm like, should I be disgraced by this? Because why should Ronaldo, Varane, Pogba and Bruno be telling Rangnick what to do and change his tactics? He's the manager. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter who you are. You need to respect the manager. But at the same time, I go, well, someone's got to take some leadership, because where is Harry Maguire taking the leadership? None. Absolutely none. And you know what? It shows. It absolutely proves these players have no respect for Harry Maguire. I said it. Do you remember that in lockdown there was Rashford swearing at Maguire, calling him crap a year and a half ago when we'd lost 6-1 to Spurs, and how Rashford has shouted at Maguire. Maguire's never been respected as captain. So you can almost blame the board for giving Maguire captaincy. You can almost blame Ollie for giving Maguire captaincy. Maguire had been at the club 6 months. He'd been okay, and he got rewarded captaincy for being okay. When the standards of Man United dropped when you gave Maguire captaincy, rewarding a player that hadn't been here long, didn't know the club, wasn't playing brilliant, was playing okay captaincy. Biggest joke of all. Not giving Ronaldo captaincy, massive joke of all. But the fact that all these senior players are going to Rangnick and taking some leadership shows they have no respect towards Harry, because Harry Maguire's not being included in any meetings. Harry Maguire's practically being ignored. But also, as much as I love Ronaldo, Bruno, Pogba, Varane, I think they're our best players. Is it right for them to be calling a meeting? Well, maybe they had to. Maybe there's such a divide in the dressing room they had to. So there's a part of me that would be outraged by this story. But at the same time, I'm like, they're taking some leadership, because no one else in the squad is taking some absolute leadership. And I think if they were causing big problems, Rangnick wouldn't have played them as well. Honestly, we haven't had a proper captain in a while. Young and Valencia were not great either, but way better than Maguire. You're absolutely right there, Andrew. We need a Roy Keane. We need a Roy Keane. Alice, I don't think Bruno deserves the armband. Look, give captaincy to Maguire as well. And Hayder says they hate Rangnick because he's exposing them. They don't like it. That's the reason, which is good. I feel sorry for he didn't get any support from the board. No power, no coaches, couldn't sign a player. Yeah, and as I said in my video this morning, I said, isn't it outrageous that Rangnick had a man working in Russia ringing him up between games, giving them tactical advice. Rangnick wanted to bring in this guy from Lokomotiv Moscow, and United wouldn't back Rangnick and wouldn't let Rangnick bring in the coach he wanted for the interim role. That this guy from Lokomotiv Moscow was ringing up Rangnick between games, giving him tactical advice. No lie whatsoever. No lie. Do you know what? Like the board didn't back Rangnick. They hung Rangnick out to dry. But the players, as I've said again, were the biggest disgrace at Manchester United. Absolutely. You know, obviously Eric Ten Hag spoke about captaincy. I think he basically said it would change. But yeah, look, the club is a big mess. Let's get into the next leak. When I say there's about 1,000 leaks today, I mean there's about 1,000 leaks. Obviously, the big complaining about Ronaldo getting more promotional campaigns, bullshit. This is an interesting one about Cavani. This is from Mark Ogden. Edison Cavani was pissed off after giving the number 7 shirt to Ronaldo and being told to fight for his place. Cavani is annoyed about being told to fight for his place. You're not gifted a place. It doesn't matter who you are. Cristiano Ronaldo will have to fight for his place, but Cavani, Martial and Greenwood all want in the strike role. It doesn't matter who you are. If you play for Manchester United, you're always fighting for your place, because if your standards drop off a little bit, you should be dropped. You know, the good thing about Ten Hag is he's got high standards and all of that. But Cavani was annoyed that he was told he's got to fight for his place. It's like Cavani wanted a free ride. Cavani signed the contract because he was thinking, I want a free ride. One sec. Let me just reply to this. Cavani signed the contract because he was basically saying, I want a free ride at United. I'll be the main striker. I'll make all this money. Ollie will give me an extra holiday for signing and all of that. He gets told Ronaldo's in, given the number 7 shirt, and you've got to fight. He can't handle not being the main man. And again, that says it all about all the egos and the ego problems at Man United. Edison Cavani, as soon as he's told he's not going to be the main man, the main striker, as soon as he's told he's got to put a bit of effort in, a bit of fighting in, he has this big old hissy. What? I have to fight for my place. I'm not going to be the main man. What? Like, there's a big ego problem with so many players at Manchester United. It absolutely does my head in. Pipe down, calm down, get over it. You know what? You play for United. You've got to fight for your place. You've got to try. You've got to work hard. The fact that it's like he expects, his ego's so big that he expects that he's just going to start week in, week out. There's a big ego problem at this club. It's a disgrace. Guys, please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you are new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. I go live every single evening, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. I'm going to be live tomorrow night with some more transfer news. Like, there'll be short videos during the day about Ten Hag, about the squad, and then there'll be live streams in the evening about transfer news. And look, it's reported that Man United could sign a player in the next week. United are going to get all their business done by the end of June. Ten Hag wants all the business done before the end of June. You've got JURRIEN Timbers representatives in England trying to get some kind of deal done. United could be signing a player in the next 2 weeks. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest transfer news, do subscribe, because the minute there's a bid in place, the minute there's an agreement and all of that, I'll be live to talk transfers and a little bit of everything as well. So also do smash a like. Let's go for 250 likes. We've got over 400 people watching as well. But just honestly, this Man United squad, guys, it absolutely outrages me as well. First season, Eddie trained Mason up. The injuries pile up. Makes it easy for all the other strikers to overtake him. Second season, he should have just gone. I mean, there was no point Cavani staying for another year, was it? Thoughts on Ten Hag's first press conference? Love it. Can't wait for Ten Hag to start. Love the man. Did a video on it earlier. Honestly. So yeah, that was Cavani complaining that he's got to fight for his place. So it just says it all about the egos. Cavani complaining it got dark after 3 p.m. and Cavani annoyed that Ronaldo was going to take his place and wanted to join Barcelona. Apparently Cavani had a hissy that he couldn't join Barcelona in January because, and all of that. So do you know what's interesting? Do you know what's really interesting? Now listen to this. So Edison Cavani's mysterious injuries, where he was always injured, started in January. What happened between Rangnick and Cavani in January? Rangnick wouldn't let him go to Barcelona because of what happened with Greenwood, and Martial had effed off in Sevilla. And all of a sudden, when Cavani stopped and not allowed to move to Barcelona, Cavani does some leaked reports on Rangnick, complaining that he's making him train in the dark. Cavani's all of a sudden injured, and Cavani effs off on international duty for so long. So as soon as Cavani didn't get his way and couldn't move to Barcelona, he didn't want to know. He didn't want to play for us. He didn't. It's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. It also was said that apparently the British players did stick together, but the foreign players took Ronaldo's side. There's reported between divide between Ronaldo and Maguire over who should be captain at United. British players were Team Maguire, foreign players were Team Ronaldo. Bish bash bosh. Mark Ogden also said there was a lot of upset when it was reported that the Man United squad weren't happy with Maguire as captain, but that was the reality of the situation. Yeah, I bet you Woodward and Judge are crying. I bet you Ollie was told by Woodward and Judge to make Maguire captain. They thought, oh my God, we spent 80 million on this. How can we make his 80 million more valuable? Let's give Maguire captaincy, a player that's been at the club 6 months and been okay. Let's give him captaincy because that might increase his value. That might make the 80 million look more worth it. And when it found out that he's crap, he's got no leadership and he can't be a leader, and the players are complaining, the board are like, no, now Maguire can't be captain. Maguire's not going to be captain next season, I can tell you that now. As well, it was also reported that there was a suspicion within the Manchester United camp that many of the leaks coming from the dressing room were from 3 specific camps. One in particular was identified as being a persistent problem. So they sort of, I think they kind of have an idea of where the leaks are coming from. Samuel Luckhurst said that those close to one Manchester United player referred to Rangnick as specs behind his back. The squad disillusionment was a source of fascination to Sir Alex, who used to back channels to gauge the mood. So basically, again, bullying. It's pathetic. The Man United players were calling Rangnick specs behind his back. What are you, 12? So you don't like Rangnick? Oh, specky twat. Specs, ooh, specs. What are you 12-year-old bullies? You're professional footballers. You're on all that money. Your dad, you've got children, some of you, you're married. The maturity of a 4-year-old. Specs. Oh, I'm funny calling Rangnick specs. Honestly, the attitude problems at this club are an absolute. I know I say the word disgrace a lot, but this club is an absolute disgrace. You know, absolute joke of a club. Specs, specky specs. Oh my god. What's the latest on Greenwood? His trial's in 2 weeks, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he'll play again, even if he's found not guilty. That audio tape is bad. More of the story. It's rarely a good idea or work out keeping footballers who want to leave. Absolutely right, Andrew. Just let's just get rid of the footballers that don't want to be here. I'd love to see them do that with Ten Hag. I'd love to see them do that with Ten Hag because I guarantee you, Ten Hag is not here to mess about. This is Ten Hag's career. He's not here to mess about. He's not here to be your friend. If you are being a twat under Eric Ten Hag, I'm sure he'll tell you. I get that impression about Ten Hag. He ain't going to here to put up with some absolute knobheads. He ain't here to put up with some troublemakers as well. I tell you that. I mean, here's the next story. One Manchester United player complained Rangnick talked to him like a child and did not give a shite about Rangnick's advice. Another was dubbed a teacher's pet. This come from Luckhurst. So this Man United player is going, I'm not going to listen to Rangnick. I'm not going to take on Rangnick's advice because he talks to me like a child. Oh, I just think you play for Manchester United. You are a professional footballer. But you're going to sit here and go, yeah, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to listen to Ralph Rangnick. I'm not going to listen to Ralph Rangnick's advice because he talks to me like a child. Too big for their boots. These players, I said it before, I say it again, they are way too big for their boots, as Stormzy would say. Too many egos, too big for their boots. It is just disgraceful. I'm not going to listen to Rangnick. I don't like the way he talks to me. Oh, Rangnick, specs. Oh, I have to fight for my place. I want to leave for Barcelona. As soon as he gets moved to Barcelona, what does Cavani do? Oh, I'm injured. The egos at this club are way too big, way too inferior, that when someone talks to them, when someone gives someone a bit of criticism, a bit of advice, they feel patronised. Their egos can't take it because they're weak mentality nimlings. And I've just made a complete new word, but it just sounds like twat, doesn't it? As well. Samuel Luckhurst said one Manchester United player spoke despairingly of any competitor for his position. Some players found Anthony Elanga's playing time mind-boggling. Now, people think that's probably Rashford. We'll have to wait and see. But look, Elanga isn't the best player in the world, but Elanga's work rate is what we need. When you're playing like individuals, when you're not playing as a team, at least with Elanga, you get a player that runs, the bare minimum. Is Elanga good? No. Could he be good? Yes, he's only 19. Does he try? Yes. Is he a team player? Yes. When, you know what? There's a reason why Elanga was playing over Rashford. Not because Elanga's better than Rashford, because when Rashford played, Ronaldo was doing his tracking back for him. I remember Rashford versus Villa. There was a rebound and he stood there and let Martinez get it. Rashford didn't care. When Elanga's on, he's got to prove a point. I'm going to play my best. I'm not on loads of money. This is an opportunity. I might not play that much when Ten Hag comes in and next season, so I'm going to prove myself. Rashford walking around, stropping around, get the PR team out. You know, they're complaining about Elanga's game time, which is ridiculous because, you know what? Most of the players that complained about Elanga's game time were probably the ones faking injuries. There was also a report that we all know, this report's come out loads of times, that Bailly questioned how Harry Maguire could continually start for Manchester United while underperforming, and another player complained Maguire was not good enough. Several teammates agree Bruno Fernandes was a wasteful approach was the problem. So reports coming out where Bailly and other Man United players are blaming Maguire and Bruno for the season. Maguire's had a crap season, Bruno's had a crap season. Both Maguire and Bruno have cost us points this season, but Maguire and Bruno are not the sole reason we've had a shite season. The sole reason we've had a shite season is because of the players who are doing the leaks, because of the players causing issues, the players causing a dressing room divide, and the players not trying. Maguire shouldn't be starting week in, week out. Bruno shouldn't be starting week in, week out on current form. Okay, they shouldn't be. But again, other players blaming them for this season. Every single player has some blame to take other than Ronaldo and De Gea. Okay, every single player has some blame other than Ronaldo and De Gea. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, Scott McTominay, you try, but you've been shite. Wan-Bissaka, you've been shite. Tellez, you've been shite. You know, so many players have blame on them, and it annoys me that they just seem to be blaming one or two players as well. The last report that came out as well, this is the last one, said that there was a disbelief that Solskjaer had allowed Edison Cavani to spend 2 weeks on holiday in Uruguay and delay his return for the start of the season simply because he'd endured a difficult year during lockdown and wanted time with his family. So basically, this caused problems. Ollie caused problems because Ollie basically being a sympathiser to Cavani, saying, "Oh, it's been a tough year with you in lockdown. Go have an extra holiday in Uruguay." Other players are going to go, "Well, I want an extra holiday now. How come he's getting an extra holiday and I'm not?" And it's caused jealousy within the squad. And the biggest problem at Man United, I think, is jealousy between players. Jealousy within the squad of, oh, he's got more followers than me. He makes more money than me. He's got a better promotional campaign than me. That was a leaked report coming out. Oh, he's got a better promotional campaign than me. That was a leaked report coming out. It was an absolute joke. It's jealousy. He's had a holiday, or he's got that move, he's got that. He's playing. Bailly complaining Maguire starting. Don't blame him. But I think jealousy was one of the biggest problems in Man United. Absolutely. And as I said about the leaks that came out yesterday and some of the things I spoke about yesterday, I mean, honestly, you know, Rangnick went to United. One of the things that came out, well, they're the leaks, but Rangnick had obviously gone to United board and he'd asked them why have they not got a Matic replacement earlier? Why? Rangnick said to the board, why did you spend 90 million on Amma, Pellistri and Van der Beek, who aren't guaranteed first team starters, when you could have brought a Matic replacement that summer? You know, that's an interesting one. You know, more leaks coming out that Rangnick had to have unpaid coaches work with him behind the scenes because the Glazers wouldn't back him. And Rangnick has gone to, you know, Fletcher and the people upstairs and been like, why have you given Bailly a new contract when he barely played last season? Why was Phil Jones given a new contract under Ollie when he didn't want him to stay? And Judge and Woodward did that purely to try and increase value. And it's stupid. And look, the last thing that came out, and I spoke about this in my video earlier, was De Gea basically said, hopefully they bring in good players with good character. And I think De Gea knows it. I think De Gea knows what the issues are and all of that. I just missed the super chat. Sorry about that. Let me just scroll up. Thank you very much for that. Daily Blind offered Eric tips for restaurants in Manchester, but he said, tell me after you get me the title. United players can forget charming him. Cheers from Holland. Is that true? Well, that's why I love Eric. Big up for the super chat. Big up from Holland. I just love Eric Ten Hag's mentality. He wasn't here to suck up to the press and go on social media and get all this attention. Eric Ten Hag was he's here to win. He's here to win. He's not here to be the teacher's pet. He's not here to be everyone's favourites. He's here to win. He's here to make this club great again. He's not a little suck up. He's not a yes man. He's a winner. And he's exactly what this club needs. The fact that he's starting work early instead of having an extra holiday after winning the league is the work mentality we need. His interview, I want to make United great again. The Liverpool City era have to end. It's the mentality that we need. Ones for the future, Ahmed and Pellistri were literally last-minute deals to save some embarrassment for Sancho. The money we spent on Ahmed and Pellistri could have gone on a CDM, and it was just to save embarrassment for Sancho. You're absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Pau Torres incoming. I mean, what is this Pau Torres story? I don't believe there's anything in it, but there could be. There generally could be. It's Pau Torres or Timber. That's what I think it is. But who knows? Look, United are interested in Pau Torres and Timber. Timber's agents are in England, so who knows? Honestly, who knows? But these Man United players are an absolute disgrace. MUFC CMPB said that. And Ralph Rangnick is being made the scapegoat. I don't think I have any real input in this new role. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Look, guys, I'm going to wrap up the live stream in just a second. So what I am going to say is if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, because obviously I'll be live tomorrow night with some more updates, some more news and that. Because obviously there's been so much. I've got through so much. They haven't really read out as many live chats as I used to. I haven't got through many live chats because there's just been so much crap coming out. So I will be live tomorrow to talk more about this. I'll probably do a short video on this tomorrow morning as well. So make sure you're subscribed. Look, Man United are going to get their transfer business done early, I believe. So please do subscribe, because if we buy someone, if we sell someone, if we put a bid in, if there's an agreement in place, I'll be live to update you guys. As soon as any transfer news comes out, I will be live to update you guys, keep you guys up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. There's reports that we could have a deal wrapped up by this time next week. We're going to act quickly in the market, and hopefully that's the case. And, you know, if you're subscribed, you'll know if we're going to buy and sell someone. But yeah, my laptop's making such a noise. Romano's discussed Torres a lot. It has to be up to him and Timber. Yeah. And the reports about Torres are coming out of Spain. Yeah, definitely. But guys, my laptop is making such a loud noise. I am going to end the live stream here. So smash a like, smash a subscribe. Back tomorrow night. Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you next time.